£1 billion a day on benefits. And who's going to pay? Right, yeah, you heard that right. £1 billion a day. Let that sink in just for a minute. £1 billion, that's a hell of a lot of money, isn't it? Every single day. Wow. And apparently we're the ones who are supposed to believe that the government hasn't got any money and hasn't got any money problems. Hold on a minute here. Now, before I go on, I'm not talking about people who are genuinely in need of help. You know, if you're disabled, if you fell on hard times, if you've lost your job, if you're ill, of course, that goes without saying, doesn't it? Of course, there should be a safety net for people, you know, that need it and need help. But welfare and pension spending is getting up towards £1 billion a day. I think we're entitled to ask questions, aren't we? One is, can we actually afford this? Because here's the problem. The government can't just keep saying, you know, oh, don't worry, we'll find the money. We're down the back of the couch. Took me back then. Remember when you used to find money down the back of the couch? That was like finding £1 billion, wasn't it? And you'd only found £1. But back to the topic. Because here's where it gets interesting. Lord Jim O'Neill, an economist, can't say that word, who's been advising Andy Burnham, has been warning that Britain needs urgent welfare reform. And he's also questioning whether we can keep piling money into the system without dealing with the underlying problem. No shit, Sherlock. Now, Lord O'Neill has actually decided not to take a formal job in Burnham's government. What he's saying is he doesn't fancy giving up his business interests and putting everything into a blind trust. And to be honest with you, I don't blame him, do you? But what he's going to do, he's still going to advise informally. What he's basically saying is we've got to get a grip. Yeah, we sure have got to get a grip at Lord O'Neill. And I think an awful lot of ordinary people are going to agree with me on that, aren't they? Because we're constantly being told that Britain hasn't got enough money. We can't afford this, we can't afford that. Taxes might have to go up, services are struggling, the NHS needs more money. Schools need more money, councils need more money. Basically, everybody needs more money. And yet we're spending around £1 billion a day. I know I keep saying it, on welfare and pensions. And at some point, somebody has to stand up and say, hang on a little minute here. Where is this gonna bloody end? When is it gonna end? And here's the bit that I think is going to make some people very angry. We can talk about welfare reform, but we also have to talk about pensions because you can't just pretend that the pension bill isn't part of the equation. The triple lock is enormously popular, and I completely understand why. Okay, people have they've paid into the system for their entire life. They deserve security, of course they do. But if economists are saying that number doesn't stack up forever, we can't just stick our fingers in our ears and sing Rule Britannia, can we? Because somebody eventually has to pay. And who pays? Us, the taxpayer, working people, next generation. And that's what annoys me about politics. Politicians love announcing what they're going to give to people. They don't seem quite as enthusiastic about explaining who's going to pay for it, Judy. And I'm sorry, but you can't just keep borrowing forever. Of course you can't. You can't keep taxing people forever. And you can't keep increasing spending forever. Eventually, the credit card comes through the letterbox, doesn't it? And you think, oh shit. And someone's got to open it. Yeah. Now I know exactly what some people will say. Typical Sue, she wants to cut benefits. No, I don't. No, I don't want to cut benefits. I want to be able to, I want a welfare system that helps genuine people that need it, but also help people that can get back into work. Of course, that's what we want, isn't it? Because if someone's capable of working, surely the best outcome isn't to leave them dependent on the state forever. Give them the skills, give them the opportunity, give them the support, get them earning their own money. Wouldn't that make them feel better? That's great for them, isn't it? And it's better for the taxpayer. Ultimately, it's better for Britain. Because I don't want to live in a country where people are punished for working. Because that's what it seems like at the minute, doesn't it? While politicians keep telling us there's no money. There's no money at all. We're scrambling for money. I want a country where it works. It works and work pays, if that makes sense. We're people who genuinely need to get a grip, and where the government actually knows what it can afford, because £1 billion a day isn't pocket money, is it? It's £1 billion every single day. I don't know how many times I've said that, probably said it loads of times in this video, but you need to let that sink in. And I've got a question for Andy Burnham, because I know he probably watches this all the time. He watches me, he's a big fan of mine. Who's going to pay it? Because I certainly haven't found the money tree yet. Have you? Have you found the money tree anywhere? What do you think? Tell me what you think and leave your comments below. Should welfare spending be cut, reformed, or should £1 billion a day simply be the price that we're having to pay? I'm genuinely interested what you think, because I know this one's going to cause a few arguments between me viewers, but you know, we're all up for debates, aren't we? So let me know in your comments below, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Ta.